Do you want to play a competitive EDH deck that lets you create an infinite amount of attackers, comboing off as early as turn 4? Have I got a deck to share with you today? This is from the cEDH decklist database, and it is Godo, Bandit Warlord. We are starting right now. Hello and welcome to the day. Thank you for spending your time with us. Welcome back to another episode of Jake and Joel are Magic. I am Joel. If this is your first video with us, I appreciate your time. Thank you for watching. If you want to stay up to the minute with the latest decks and strategy for Commander, Pioneer, Historic, Standard, Brawl, you want to talk MTG Finance news and specs, or you just want to see us open some booster packs, make sure you hit that subscribe button before you go. Now, we are talking today about my new favorite cEDH deck list that I just came across on the cEDH decklist database called Godo, Bandit Warlord. This is the exact list from that database. You've got to go and check it out. The entire primer is there. I'll leave the links for that site and the deck list itself over on Tapped Out. I'll leave those links down in the description so that you can click them and go get a comprehensive guide, card by card, to how to operate this deck. Today, though, I want to talk through some of the main interactions, and I want to show you a game of the deck getting a little lucky and winning on turn 4. There's also a timestamp down there if you want to skip the explanation of these cards and you just want to see the gameplay. Go check it out. So, this is the commander, Godo Bandit Warlord. When he enters the battlefield, search for an equipment, put it onto the battlefield. When he attacks for the first time each turn, untap him. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. So let's break that down into its two parts. When it enters the battlefield, search your library for an equipment card and put it onto the battlefield. We're going to go search for Helm of the Host. At the beginning of combat on your turn, create a token that's a copy of the equipped creature, except the token isn't legendary, key, and the token gains haste, also key. What we need is 11 mana. 6 plus 5 for the equip, because Godo's going to go search for the Helm and put it right onto the battlefield himself. For that 11 mana, we are going to be able to cast Godo, we're going to be able to go get Helm, put it onto the battlefield, equip it to Godo, and counting on the fact that we hope there's no interaction in there because we're on turn 4 and we just ramped, we are going to create infinite creatures. Helm of the Host is going to create a token of Godo. That token is going to attack, triggering the second ability when it attacks for the first time. After this phase, there's an additional combat phase. At the beginning of that next phase, Helm of the Host is going to create another copy of Godo. That new token is going to attack for the first time, triggering the after this phase, there's an additional combat phase, and so on and so forth. You can just repeat this ad nauseum. To get to that 11 mana, we have got ramp, rocks, lands that are tapping for 2, Treasonous Ogre, which is just absolutely an all-star in this deck because you can just pay the 3 life, add as much mana as you need to make up for, and get this combo going. Now, we've also got a lot of stacks over here in case the game goes long, such as Blood Moon, Magus, Defense Grid. We've got some secondary equipments that you can go and search up because those tokens will get to do that. Hammer of Nazan to make it make your Godo indestructible. Conqueror's Flail to keep spells from being cast during your turn to interrupt you. And past that, we've got some removal. We've got some utility stuff. We can go search up things like Goblin Engineer. We can go search up Goblin Welder. These are important because if the Helm of the Host gets destroyed, you do need to go and get it back. If Godo gets destroyed, we're fine. We can ramp up, cast him again. We've got plenty of built-in to pay the tax. So he going away is not that big of a deal. Helm is a little worse. We can go with Goblin Welder to return. We can go with things like Welding Jar to regenerate if it gets destroyed. Put target card from your graveyard into your hand with Codex Shredder, stuff like that. So we have Imperial Recruiter to go search for that stuff. We have Goblin Matron to go and search for that stuff. Utility and Direfleet Daredevil to get some counter spells from your opponent's graveyards. Panharmonicon to double some of these effects like Imperial Recruiter, like Daredevil, and things like that. Let's jump into the game itself. You'll see how we got a little bit lucky, but we did pull the combo off on turn 4 and our opponents just bailed. So we look at our opening hand. We've got 1 mountain, we got the mana crypt, Voltaic Key, we got a Lion's Eye Diamond. So we've instantly got access to 6 mana, 3 of it being a 1-time. This is a little loose of a keep, but I do like that we can potentially create a token copy of anything that we draw, any of our creatures that we draw. We've got the Honor Worn Shaku. So actually, yeah, we have access to 7 mana out of the gate. And we've got the Manifold Key. Manifold Key can be huge for us, especially with something like Mana Crypt, for getting that 1 extra mana, trying to get to that 11 mana count that we so desperately need as soon as possible. Across the battlefield from us, from left to right, we've got Freyalise up in the top left corner as our opponent. We've got the Slumbering Isle, not even going to attempt that name, up there in the middle. And we've got Tima and the red-blue, I can't remember that name, as the top right commander, little partner action going. We're going to sit here and wait for them to hopefully go and get their Arid Mesa target, and we draw Mox Salvage. We were hoping right there to draw another Mana Rock, maybe another land. We've got so much of it, it's almost, I think it's more than a quarter of our deck is represented by non-land mana producers. And here we have a little bit loose of an opening turn, but I was so excited, I wanted to just play everything that we could. We go ahead and drop the Mana Crypt, we drop the Lion's Eye Diamond, we drop the Warren, and then we drop the Manifold Key. That's what I like about this deck, is its ability to just go brah onto the battlefield right out of the gate and try and get to that Godo and that Helm as quickly as possible. In a different situation, you might want to hold back, and probably do want to hold back, the Mana Crypt and the Lion's Eye Diamond until you've got all of your mana lined up and ready to go, because it does kind of open you up to some artifact destruction. And right now, as you can see, we don't have a ton of protection. We've got a Mox Salvage, which we can either pay for 3 or free if one of our opponents plays an island. We've got the Volcanic Fallout, so we can wipe tokens. We could potentially kill the 1-drop that our green opponent up in the top left had played on turn 1. You see our top right opponent has now gone Mana Crypt, Worn Power Stone, so they're starting to ramp up as quickly as we do. We get a little lucky here and we top deck an Ancient Tomb. So now we have 3, 4, 5, going across the lands to the artifacts. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We are 2 mana off, and then we are ready to go. Here we can stay open for either the Mox Salvage or the Volcanic Fallout in a pinch. You can see on our battlefield we've only got 1 mana represented that's red, unless we sacrifice the Lion's Eye Diamond. That's not really something that we want to do in this situation. We know that we've got a green opponent over here and they're starting to ramp. The creature can add 2 green, but they go ahead and choose to swing it at us. Our top right opponent has pretty much gotten all except for red in their colors represented on the battlefield. And on top of that, they've got a Mana Crypt and a Worn Power Stone. So there's a little bit of a mistake that I make here, and I let the turn pass from Octopus to Mr. Lebowski without destroying the Mana Crypt. Should have gone ahead and used the Mox Salvage, because that was already in the back of our mind at EOT for Octopus. We should have gone ahead and cast the Mox Salvage to destroy the Mana Crypt, because we know that we're not using anything else. Now that mistake lets them play Dragonlord Ojutai on their turn, and this is turn 3 for them. So we've got Ojutai to deal with now. Fortunately, Ojutai is not going to be any sort of disruption for us. We go ahead and, it's better to make one mistake publicly than it is to make 2 mistakes privately. And so we're not, I think I'm saying that right. It's a little rule of thumb that someone much smarter than me said about Magic. And look at that, by the way, on our turn 3, we get lucky. We're on Soul Ring now. So we have all of the mana represented that we need by the time we untap next turn. Now, we've got a little scariness going on. Green, if they play 1 more land, they can play Freyalise on this turn, which means that they can tick Freyalise down and destroy an artifact. Now, that's not something that we want to see happen, because if they hit our Mana Crypt or our Lion's Eye or our Soul Ring, they're going to take us significantly off mana. However, they go ahead and hit our Manifold Key. Not sure if that was on purpose or an accident. You can pay, tap the Soul Ring, add 2, pay 1, untap another target artifact, to untap the Soul Ring, add another 2. You've got, you net 3 off of the Soul Ring. That was a little bit of a thought mistake on my turn. I think we probably could have gone ahead and comboed off there on turn 3, especially because our top left opponent was tapped out and our middle opponent was tapped out. So we're just going to have to sort of sit back here and hope that nothing happens to interrupt. However, we still got enough mana online to do our thing. Our top right opponent swung with Ojutai. It became a non-hexproof anymore, and for some reason our middle opponent Cyclonic Rift just the Ojutai back to their hand. Our opponent plays the Ugin. They've got a manifested creature on the battlefield. Not going to affect us. We're looking at a tapped out opponent, top left, top right, and on the far right as well. Here we go. Let's cast Godo. First, we got to sacrifice Lion's Eye, add 3, discard our hand, who cares? Add the rest of it. We've got 5 mana left over after Godo hits the battlefield. Godo hits the battlefield. Yes. We're going to go get Helm. Helm hits the battlefield. We use the other 5 to equip it to Godo. Helm triggers, creates a token. Move to attack step. Sure, you know what? In the meantime, we'll go ahead and do this. We've got Hammer. Hammer of Nazan makes them indestructible. We can automatically attach it. We'll go ahead and swing it. Our top right opponent, they're over it. They don't want to do this anymore. They move on. This attacks. Our middle opponent has now quit. They see what's happening. They don't want to be part of this anymore. We're going to swing at Kin Hammer. Kin Hammer is going to not block because they can't do anything. We go to our next attack step. Godo is created. Our opponent concedes. We win. So as you can see, once the combo gets going and there's no way that your opponents can interact, there is not much more that can happen besides you winning. I really appreciate everybody watching. Let me know if this is a cEDH deck you play. Let me know if there's any other commanders that you would like us to cover on the channel. We are always happy to throw up another video. I love playing Commander, and I am so excited to make more videos for y'all. Appreciate you watching. Like I said, if you wouldn't mind, hit like, hit and subscribe. It really helps us out. If you want to support us further, we got a Patreon. The link is down in the description below. And if you want to hang out, maybe play some Commander, hit us up on Twitter, or come watch us stream Tuesday and Thursday evenings over on Twitch. Appreciate it. Catch you later.